Yo, what's going on, man? Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Today is the first day of April. Time to run it up in April, man. We have, I think it's 8 games on the board in the NBA for today. 7 or 8 games on the board. We'll go through all of them. I went through about 5 of them. So 2 of them, we could kind of live cap on the show a little. I saved those for the last ones, but we'll get into the games that I did get a chance to go through last night. I did make 4 plays already as well, so we'll go through those and talk a little bit about what jaXon likes. I see the market is starting to move on some of these. We got a little COV on a couple of them as well, if for the members who made these plays last night with me. So let's get into it for today. I'm just, let's see, trying to get one more thing done real quick. I probably should have did this before the show. So, all right, let's jump into it. So yesterday, ended up making 2 official plays. The Miami Heat minus the 8, easy winner. Boston minus the 4, easy winner. The Sacramento team total Sacramento team total under 114.5 was also a winner. Bought out of that yesterday. I talked about it on my show yesterday. Miles Turner got ruled out. I wanted no parts of it. The Pacers were able to play some really good defense in the fourth quarter, held them under that total. So that would have been another winner. Really liked the Clippers yesterday as well. Didn't bet them minus the 2.5. Didn't send that out officially. OKC team total over 126.5 was an easy winner last night as well. The games I would have been wrong on were Dallas minus the 9, Brooklyn team total under. Dallas allowed Brooklyn to make 23 pointers last night for only 6 times, and I think maybe 75 games that the Brooklyn Nets have hit 23s. And then Houston plus the 5 would have lost by a point. I didn't bet against my Lakers last night. Also, the over would have been a loser at 223. Just some really terrible shooting in the first quarter, but both teams got hot pretty much after that. So overall, I think it would have been 5-3 day if you played everything that was on the short list, and you still would have been profitable. As far as the chat for today, let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat this morning before we get started. Jared said Memphis can match up with Boston. April Fools. I forgot it was April Fool's Day. April Fools, they cannot. Absolutely cannot. What up, Brian? Appreciate you for tapping as always, bro. He says, well, we're seeing the board pretty clearly. Nice handicap. Go Lakers. Cold night shooting, but a nice defensive scheme. Bring on Golden State. Let's go. Yeah, absolutely. Bring on the Warriors. They're up next. Lakers look good back at home for sure. Red says, I'm your new host. April Fools. Everything Thunder hit yesterday. Chicago team total under. Would hit if it wasn't for garbage time 4th. Yeah, we talked about that, Brian. We talked about liking the Thunder team total up and over or laying the points with them versus taking that Chicago team total under. LJ says he cashed Rockets first quarter under. He says cash easily. What up, Rick? Appreciate you for tapping in. Says good morning, hustlers. Let's eat today. That's what we here for. JB says Wolves gonna get this one. Good morning, Tasha. What up, Frankie? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Peasy. It's top of the morning, gang. Lakers took care of business last night. The late LeBron free throws got a cover last night. Good morning, Bitsy. Good morning, Manny. He says Bulls pulled the April Fool's jokes on us early yesterday. That was the Thunder. That was the Thunder. What up, She? Good morning, Blaze. What up, Mitchell? Good morning, Jose. What up, Smeezy? Good morning, Markel. Boogie says, good morning, Chris. Mavs heard me talking, went scoreless for 4 minutes. Yeah, that was the most variance game last night. The Mavs are 30 points better than the Brooklyn Nets, but I mean, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that, man. Sometimes it's like that. You can't let it. They kind of played around with their food last night. I think they thought it was easy because they just went into Brooklyn and won by 20. Now they get the guys back, and they end up, not doing what they were supposed to do. So, yeah. What up, Markel? Good morning. Tariq says, good morning, Chris. Same here. Boston, Miami. Clippers jumped on live. Lakers, the Mavs was my lower, but I had them in a parlay with Miami. Just needed them to win. Overall, good day. Glad you cash, man. Glad you cash. What up, Patrick Parlay J in here? Says we cashed on Harden under. I think he finished with 19 and he was listed at 20 and a half, or he finished at 20 and 20 and a half, something like that. I don't even, did the Cal bet the Suns again? We'll talk about the game. I don't know if Cal bet the Suns or not. What up, Brian? Appreciate you for tapping in. ITV Grid says thanks for the Franz pick, my guy. True. Yeah, Franz over his points, his rebounds and assists yesterday was a winner at 9.5 too. I didn't bet it though. I'm glad you made some money with it. ITV Grids. What up, AOD? Craig says Mavs couldn't hit a free throw. Guards played like trash. I hate betting against any Lakers, but hit bronze under his points. Okay. Yeah, Dylan Brooks was out there doing Dylan Brooks type of things, man. We know what that means. All right. Let's get into it. I'm just trying to update my screen really quickly to reflect the bets that I did play for today. So just bear with me for just a second and we're going to get into it for today. We'll go right to see what jaXon likes. I actually got 4 bets that I placed already. 4 already. That's a lot for me. I don't typically play that many this early. But I kind of like the card a little bit for today. So hopefully we can be profitable. And it's a couple that I'm looking towards as well. But just wanted to make sure I get those up. All right, so let's jump into it, man. jaXon is up first. If you're new to the show, jaXon is an AI sports betting tool that you can use to save yourself tons of time when you're handicapping research, get real-time insight for smarter bets, save yourself tons of times with the research. jaXon can handicap player prop sides, totals, NBA, NFL, MLB, home run props, stolen base props, walk props, you name it. So yeah, save yourself some time. Also NCAA, I know it's the Final Four coming up. jaXon can give you a complete breakdown. So save yourself some time. Use that code ChrisBeCappinn, 2 P's, 2 N's for 50% off your first payment. And even if you don't want to use it, you can forget the code. Just go over there. You get 5 free prompts per month if you don't want to sign up. So definitely check it out. Yeah, y'all bear with me. My allergies are kicking my butt this morning, as you probably can tell with the sniffles. All right, so today, I'm asking jaXon, what are the 2 best player props again, based on last 10 game hit rate. I'm not telling you guys to tail these bets blindly. I'm telling you that this is a good starting point. And then you can kind of look into the matchup yourself using other tools or your own way to handicap games. But jaXon likes Dante DiVincenzo up and over his points, rebounds, and assists at 16.5. It says that he's hit this number in 9 of his last 10 games, averaging 20 points, rebounds, and assists. The Nuggets rank 18th in defense versus his position. So it's a pretty favorable matchup for DiVincenzo to continue to have a strong performance. He's excelled against the Nuggets, historically hitting the over in 100% of his last 2 games against them, averaging 21 points, rebounds, and assists. So jaXon likes Dante DiVincenzo up and over. I'm going to give you guys another one. Kobe White, going back to Kobe White. I know jaXon liked Kobe White last night. I don't even know if he cashed. Did Kobe White cash? Somebody let me know in the chat. Kobe White, I think jaXon liked them. Oh, nah, he definitely didn't cash. Kobe White was terrible last night. 2 for 5 from the field, 7 points. Minus 39. That's the biggest plus minus on the board last night. A minus 39 is crazy. Kobe White had a game like he was Tyler Horton Tucker. Tyler Horton Tucker actually had more. So yeah, Kobe White back on the Kobe White train today, up and over his points, rebounds, and assists for jaXon. Says that he's hitting 9 of his last 10 games. I'm guessing the one that he didn't was last night. The Raptors ranked 15th defensive versus position. He's been particularly strong at home, where he's averaged 27.73 points, rebounds, and assists this season. And the line is set at 31.5. So jaXon likes those 2. Also want to give you guys a total bet. Trying to do my best to share the knowledge. jaXon likes the prompt is what is the best NBA total bet to make today in the NBA based on last 10 game advanced stats. jaXon likes the over between the Portland Trail Blazers and the Atlanta Hawks. It says the Hawks have been involved in high scoring games recently, with their last 10 games averaging 241.6 points. The Trail Blazers defense has struggled, allowing 122.3 points per game in their last 10 games. Both teams rank top 10 in pace, which increases the likelihood of a high-scoring game. The Hawks' offense has been efficient, averaging 121.4 points per game in their last 10. So take the over 238.5 minus 110 on DraftKings is what jaXon is telling us to bet in this one. So 3 bets, take whichever one it is that you like, leave the other ones, and let's jump into the slate for today. All right, so first game up, we got the 76ers and the New York Knickerbockers. I don't want to spend too much time on the game, but we'll start with the injury report. The 76ers are, we know, a pretty atrocious team. This line was at 16. It's actually been brought down to 14.5 here. You got the Knicks, who will continue to be without Brunson. Somebody said Brunson was going to be out for the rest of the season. That's not true. He is, I think, going to return here shortly. No need to bring him back against the Phoenix Suns, against the Philadelphia 76ers, though. McBride and Campaign will continue to be out. And then on the Philadelphia 76ers side, Gershon Yabusele is off the injury report. Looks like they will have Bonner as well. Justin Edwards, Quentin Grimes should be out there, and Jared Butler. Kyle Lowry has also been upgraded to questionable in this game. Drummond is out. Maxey is out. Kelly Oubre is out. So Philly will be a little bit more healthier than they have been recently. As far as the game goes, I'm just looking at the Philadelphia 76ers defense, and I'm not expecting it to play better just because Yabusele and Bonner are going to be out there. I think that they still go play super fast. I think they will get up and down the floor. I think the Knicks, even though they play fast, they'll look at this game and say, we can score on this team, and they will go out and score the basketball. So I did bet the New York Knicks team, just staying away from the spread. I bet the Knicks team total up and over in this spot. 118.5 is what I sent out last night. The number hasn't moved. Well, it has moved, but you can still get 118.5 on Bet365. It's 119.5 everywhere else, but Bet365 has it at 118.5. That's what I bet. The Knicks offense is 10th in their last 5 games. 10th offensive rated team. Philly's 24th in defensive rating, and that's against the second easiest strength of schedule. So if you're telling me that your defense is 24th rated against the second easiest strength of schedule, I got to think the Knicks going to be able to run it up in this spot. So I played the Knicks team total up and over. 76ers have held just 3 opponents under their team total since the All-Star break, meaning that 18 of their 21 opponents have gone up and over their team total. They allowed 123 points per game in the 21 games since the All-Star break. They're 15-6 to the over in general. The Knicks will be able to score, in my opinion, in transition, in the paint. I think they get whatever it is that they want. Couldn't talk anybody off of some OG and Anunoby props. I feel like the number is still a tad bit too low. So, yeah, like I said, Knicks up today, baby. Knicks tape. I need them to get out to get the 120 in this game. That's what I bet. As far as player props, a couple of them that I think are absolute good money. We've been talking. If you guys been watching the show daily, I've been talking to you guys a lot about how much I like Josh Hart over his rebounds and assists. And I do think that the minutes are going to be there for Josh Hart again today. Even in a game that, could potentially turn into a blowout. We know the Knicks play around with their food. It wouldn't surprise me if Philly won the first quarter. But looking at Josh Hart, his assist prop still was sitting at 6.5 last night. He's gone up and over the number twice. His rebounds should be there as well. So I got a slight lean. I didn't bet it because I don't really like making too many bets in the same game. But Josh Hart rebounds was at 16.5 last night. It's still 16.5. I would be playing this before I would be fading it. So this is Outlier. Link in the description, of course, as always. 7-day free trial. Josh Hart is over in 3 of his last 4 games. You can see that here. 5 of his last 10. He's averaging 12 assists, potential assists per game. 17 rebound chances per game in his last 10 as well. And he's averaging 12 potential assists with Jalen Brunson off the floor in general as well. And has gone up and over his 6.5 in back-to-back games. We just talked about that, just showed you guys that. And the 76ers are the 6th worst rebounding team on the season. Their bottom 5 last 5 games. And if you go in and just look at Josh Hart rebounds specifically against this team, he's been dominant, man. He is the best rebounder on the floor. Look at these last couple games for Josh Hart. That's just his rebounds. He's played them 3 times this season. This is the last matchup, 12, 17, and 17 boards. So Josh Hart over his 16 and a half rebounds and assists in this game, I think is should be pretty good money as well. I didn't bet this one. Not quite yet anyway, but Josh Hart up and over his rebounds and assists, I think should be pretty good. Also, like I said, probably a look towards OG Anunoby. Couldn't talk anybody off his points prop. I don't think they have anybody that's gonna be able to slow him down. Let's see what the thought processes are here, and then we'll keep it moving. You know what, Frankie? I'm thinking about the game, right? Like that's one of the games, that's the last game on the board. It's one of the games I didn't handicap because I'm like, yo, is it gonna be a suspension? Like I didn't know if Nas Reed and Dante DiVincenzo was gonna end up getting suspended. I would go out and say no, but I don't want to bet put a bet in the game, especially on the Denver side, and then the Timberwolves or take Minnesota, and then somebody end up getting ruled out or suspended. So I didn't even like that's a critical part in the handicap, in my opinion. That number is moving; it's just going everywhere. I see every time I see it go up to 3.5, it comes back down to 2.5. But we'll talk about it a little bit more in a second. DJ Prop says today is Josh Hart. Today is the day Josh Hart gets a triple double. I like it. I like it a lot. Tariq says, Chris, I like the 76ers to cover. Knicks can't cover 14 points. So to your point, Tariq, I'm not going to argue. Like, I'm not going to have too strong of a rebuttal. But what I did write in my notes was the Knicks are 7-3-2 against the number as a double-digit home favorite. They just played against the Wizards, and they covered that game. They covered against the Mavs. They were 11.5 point favorites. They covered that game, won that game by 15. They covered against the Wizards. They were laying 15.5. These were without Brunson too. Covered without Brunson. They were laying 15.5, won the game by 19. So the last 2 games that they've been a double-digit home favorite, they have covered and won. The Sixers on the opposite side are 15-23 against the spread on the road, 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 games. I don't want anything to do with hoping that the Philadelphia 76ers don't get blown out. So easy pass for me. All right, that's that one. Markel says Quentin Grimes points and go to bed, former team. That's a fact. Yeah, couldn't talk you off some Quentin Grimes today. Not sure why Dallas wanted to lay an egg last night. I think they were feeling themselves. Went on that road trip, I love us, and played really, really good basketball. They beat the Brooklyn Nets. Only loss I think was to they beat the Orlando Magic. Only loss was to the New York Knicks without AD. Then they finished it off with a win against Chicago. Came back home a little fat and happy, and let the Brooklyn Nets make 23s and couldn't make a 3 last night. So it happens, man. It definitely happens. G. Harris says, I can't understand any circumstances take the 76ers right now. My goodness, I can't either. I'm not betting the Sixers. Bonner under 8 rebounds. Cat will pull him away from the hoop, and his time is limited. Okay. Like part of the handicap. Lingowick says, welcome to New York, Chris. That Knicks team total over is in my pocket too. That's what I bet. Tibbs will play Hart 40 minutes, even if it's a 30-point blowout, and that is a fact, DJ. If you sign up to play for Tibbs, just know that you are signing up for 65 minutes in a 48-minute game if the game goes to double overtime. OG Anunoby opened over his points. TV Gris says, what up, Justin? Top of the morning, bro. Hope all is well with you. Hey, yo, D says, Nas Reed is soft. Dante DiVincenzo is soft. They're like ice cream. Justin Edwards over his points. Going to be in my pocket, Justin says. Young News, I think this is the new name, says fluctuating numbers, meaning numbers don't mean anything. The better team will win. Okay. I'm not going back and forth with you. You got it. Let's see. What up, G421? Says can't agree more with Josh Hart rebounds and assists, Chris. Yeah, I think it's plus 100. You can still get plus 100 right now in a couple books too. Corey says, morning, Chris. How you feeling? Man, a question, bro. I'm in Mesquite, Texas, bro. I'm from Michigan, where sports betting is legal. In Texas, it's not. Can you help me out, man, with any offshore books you may know? I don't play any offshores, Corey. There's a ton though. Just Google it. Google offshore bets. And people can drop them in the chat. I don't play any offshores though, because I'm in Virginia. I got access to 15 sports books, so limited on a couple, but I don't play too many offshore books at all. Lingowick says Land 15 is crazy without Brunson. They've covered a couple games by 15 without Brunson. But I understand. I just don't want any part of the 76ers. They're 0-7 against the number. It don't matter what the number has been. They failed to cover 7 in a row. Justin says, wait, I gotta rewind. I'm on the Knicks team total minus over 119.5. I didn't know you were too. Yeah, absolutely. Let's cash it. Juby says he's going under on Josh. He says, I'm rocking with you on Josh Hart over. Okay. All right, cool. I think we did a pretty good job. Here goes some offshores. Bet US, probably take your action, Brian says. Bet US offshore. Bovado. Yeah, Bovado. What else is it? It's a couple offshores. I don't really mess with offshores. I know a lot about sports betting. I don't know too much about offshores. Bet online. Check out Bet Online. Bet.ag. Those, yeah, it's a lot of them. Appreciate y'all for helping me out in the chat too. All right. What up, Free Sauce? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. Rudy, last comment on this game. I'm going to go to the next one. He says, I don't know, man. The way these teams who aren't going to the playoffs will ruin playoff team spots. Be careful. I didn't bet the spread. I took the team total. Think that they're going to get there today. Tariq says, Chris, I just got to get a quick meeting with the staff, and you're still on the next game. Yeah, just taking my time, man. We're going to speed it up. I'm just trying to go through the comments too. All right, next one up, the Warriors and the Grizzlies. So I'm not going in order today. Not all the way in order, but because a couple games I do kind of want to break down live. So we'll talk about those games in just a second. The next game shouldn't be this game, though. The next game should be Portland and Atlanta. I think I just put these in order of the games that I had a bet in, because I did bet this one. So the Golden State Warriors in Memphis, I got a better number. I did take the Warriors minus the 3.5, and I was hesitant to do so only because I already got if the Warriors win today, we cash a 2-unit bet on the team total up and over for the full season that we bet at the All-Star break. We just need them to get to 44 wins, and they got a chance here today. This line is up to 5.5 on most books. The total has moved a little bit as well. 237.5, 238. Looks like 238.5 is coming back down to 237.5. I just look at the game, right? And the first thing that jumps out to me, y'all know I come on here. I'm very analytical. I like to make sure I find the edge in some of the some of the ways I think the team has an advantage. But the biggest advantage that the Golden State Warriors have here is really the motivational spot. And it's not that Memphis will not be motivated, but this is third game in 4 nights for Memphis. Memphis is also just 3-17-1 against the number since the All-Star break. They're covering less than 15% of their games. And we think about the Warriors, what do they like to do? Bomb away from the 3-point line. They're taking the second most threes in the last 5 games. On the full season, they're taking the second most threes. Memphis is terrible from the 3-point line. They're not a good 3-point defense. Boston lit them up last night. The Lakers just lit them up a couple nights ago as well. Boston hit 21 threes last night. The Lakers, I think, hit 20-plus threes the other night as well. And the Golden State Warriors, this is the cherry on top. It's the seeding, right? The Lakers need this. The Warriors need this game. The Warriors win this game because Memphis lost last night to Boston. Golden State can now jump them to get to the 5th seed in the West with a win in this game. And you always got to take care of business like this. So actually, the Lakers won last night. That Lakers jumped back into 4th. And now if the Grizzlies lose this game, Golden State can still jump them to get the 5th. Memphis will drop. Memphis was 2nd at one point this season. They'll drop all the way to 6th with a loss tonight. And I do think that they lose. They've just been trending in the wrong direction. 3-7 in their last 10. Golden State 7-3. Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry gonna be on the floor. They just took care of San Antonio team a couple nights ago. That was pretty easy. And I don't think the way Memphis like to score the basketball is going to be available in this game. They like to get out and run. Golden State's a top 10 transition defense. So I did lay the 3.5 points last night. I didn't get the best of the number because it opened at 3, but I am on the Grizzlies today. I am on the I'm sorry, not the Grizzlies. I'm on the Warriors today. I laid the 3.5 last night. Let's see. So the super quick handicap there. I'm going to try to speed up a little bit because there's a couple games I do want to go through. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Reese has already bet the Grizzlies. Kyle is on the Grizzlies. Okay, so me and Kyle gonna be going head-to-head a little bit later. Won't be on the Grizzlies, man. I'm not trying to catch that falling knife with the Grizzlies. Let's see. The Goldfin says, I missed the recap. I took the Sacramento team total under 114. Appreciate you. I'm gonna have to start waking that ass up earlier. Yeah, I actually bought out of that. It wasn't looking good until the fourth quarter started, but without Miles Turner, I didn't want anything to do with that Indiana offense, Indiana defense. But I'm glad you cashed it. I didn't make $1 yesterday on that team total. Let's see. Free sauce says Jaren Jackson Jr. over his rebounds and assists. Bro just had 15 rebounds last game. The Warriors, who they play last game? If you're talking about Boston, I think he had 15 boards in that game, did he? The Warriors are one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA. I know that they're undersized, and you think about the Warriors. That's why it's always good to look at the numbers. You think about the Warriors, you're like, man, they're not that good of a rebounding team. It's super small, right? You got Jimmy Butler typically playing at like the 4, Draymond playing at the 5. He like 6'7". But this is a very, very good rebounding team. Don't let me talk you off the bat. Just trying to give you some numbers. Golden State's the 7th best offensive rebounding team, and they give up the 9th fewest offensive rebounds as well. So they're a pretty good defensive rebounding team. Top 10 on both sides. Free sauce. Justice is not betting this game. I feel like I got the Golden State money line. That's true. That is true. I love it. Says I'm betting the Warriors. Mark says good morning. What up, Mark? He says I thought I missed the live Golden State -3.5. Absolutely. Curry's threes couldn't top you off, Droopy. Could be there for sure. Chico says I bet the Memphis +5.5. Because it's going to be close, but Golden State pulls it out at the end, and I'm looking at the over. Okay. Warriors -5 for Bryant. Tariq says tough one. Leaning Warriors. Under for King G. Not confident though, but the belt is up. Put the belt up. Golden State good money today. Let's get it, Jose. I didn't spend too much time looking into the numbers with Jimmy Butler and Steph on the floor, but I know that they're a really good offensive team, and Golden State's a very good defensive team too. I think that alone. In the last 5 games, they're trying to get back into form. They're 5th in defensive rating. I know the one thing that I didn't even watch, of course, I didn't watch Kyle's video. I never watched like any other content until I'm finished, with my own. But I know Kyle's going to point to the Grizzlies playing the stronger strength of schedule, and they have played a strong strength of schedule. So I'll be ready to hear that. The Grizzlies have played the 4th strongest strength of schedule. Golden State is 22nd, but I think they can come in here and win the game by 2 possessions against a Memphis team that they have the much major rest advantage in this spot. And I just don't like what I'm seeing from Memphis right now. So didn't really look into a team total. But the Grizzlies are playing. Golden State's playing really good defense, so couldn't talk you off. All right, let's get to the next one. Let's see. Trapaholic says, I like the Grizzlies here. They play better as dogs. The Grizzlies actually begin to smoke as dogs. They've been dogs. I did look into that. I think, let's see. I don't know if I wrote it down. The Grizzlies play better as dogs. The Grizzlies are 10-14-1 against the spread as a dog. That's not good. 41%. You don't want to win 41% of your bets. That's a terrible number to win by. They've also failed to cover 3, 4, 5, 6 straight games as a dog. You don't want the Grizzlies as a dog right now. Dogs against the Thunder got smoked by 17. Dogs against the Cavs lost that game by 9. Dogs against the Kings lost that game by 10. Dogs against the Clippers lost that game by 20. Dogs against the Thunder again lost that game by 21. Dogs against the Celtics last night lost that game by 14. So they have not been good as a dog. They are 0-6 against the number in their last 6. They got a push in here against the Cavaliers when they went to Cleveland. And then before that, they lost 2 more as well. So 0-8-1 against the number in their last 9 games as a dog, Trapaholic. Just FYI. All right, next game up we got is the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks. This is kind of gross, man. Not going to lie to you guys. This is kind of gross. I do not want to lay So the Suns will be without. We know Kevin Durant's out, right? Most people know this already. He's going to be out for at least a week. He'll be reevaluated in a week. Bradley Beal has been upgraded to questionable. And I think that's it for the Phoenix side of things. Giannis is on the report. He's more probable. AJ Green is also game time decision. No Dame, no Bobby Portis, of course. So initially when I looked into it, I do think the over is the right play. I would be getting the worst of the number though, and I don't want it at 224 or 225 or whatever I saw it at. But at 220 and a half, it opened at 220. I just missed it. I do think without Kevin Durant that we are going to see a lot less defense for Phoenix. I think Phoenix is going to have to play fast, and I think that the defense is going to really suck a lot. And it's not like either one of these teams are great offensive teams. I think Phoenix offense is not going to be as good without KD, of course. But I don't know if I can count on either team to really get a stop either. So let's jump into it. So Phoenix is terrible, right? But the Bucks, like, how good are the Bucks without Damian Lillard? I'm not quite sure. They've lost a couple games in a row. I don't really want them. 4 straight games. They failed to cover their last 2 without Dame. And you can look at the matchup and say, well, Chris, they were playing against some really good teams, the Bucks were, in those last couple games. And I give you that. They were. But I kind of feel like I want a bigger sample size without Dame being there. They just got smoked against Atlanta on Sunday. Lost that game by 21 points. And the Phoenix Suns definitely not as good as the Atlanta Hawks right now. But we talked about the +4 in that game. They also lost to the Knicks by 9. Lost to Denver. They were shorthanded without Giannis in that game, but they lost to Denver in that game as well. I just don't know. I don't want to lay this big of a number. So it's almost like I'm forced to bet Phoenix, but you know, if I'm forced to bet Phoenix, I'll clearly sit that one out. I'd rather watch paint dry than bet the Phoenix Suns. They've failed to cover 4 straight games, and this is all with them needing, playoff seeding, and they are now on the outside looking in. I think that they could just kind of wrap it up too. Like, that's the thing. I think that they are very, very close to just shutting it down for the season. They do have the strongest strength of schedule left after this game. They got Boston. They're not winning that. After they play Boston, they got another really tough opponent. They got Golden State on Tuesday. Probably not going to win that. Those games are going to be played without Durant. And then they got another tough opponent. I just forgot who it is coming up as well. I think it might be Denver. So, yeah, what I wrote in my notes was both teams are bottom 5 defensive rated teams last 5 games. Phoenix being the worst defensive rated team. We just saw them give up 150, 145 to the Houston Rockets. Phoenix is 10-3 to the over in the 13 games that Durant did not play. Non-straight opponents have actually gone up and over their team total. The Phoenix Suns are allowing 122 points per game without Kevin Durant. And even without Damian Lillard in the last handful of games, Milwaukee is still 12th in offensive rating. It's 7th in effective field goal percentage. So they're still able to score the basketball. I couldn't quite get there on anything in this game. But I do know that the Suns are cooked. It don't matter if they win this game. They still cooked. They play Boston. Then they play in the Garden against the Knicks. And then they got Golden State. And that's going to be all without KD. So, they still cooked either way. And they also, their 4-game losing streak came at the worst time possible. But this is who the Phoenix Suns are anyway. They're not a good basketball team. So, I don't want to lay this many points with the Bucks, though. I don't want to lay it. So it's easy for me to kind of stay off of this game. And I didn't really look at it from a player prop perspective. Let's see what you guys are thinking in this one. Justin says, if I won 41% of my bets, it's time for a ski mask. 9 to 5. Pick the 9 to 5, Justin. We love you, bro. Pick the 9 to 5. Let's see. Free Sauce offers some more for Jared Jackson Jr. rebounds. Okay. I hope you cash Free Sauce. I'm not on the opposite side. We're just picking holes in your argument. Just kind of going back and forth. Grizzlies go crazy at home. I'm off, though. Grizzlies been going so crazy that they got Taylor Jenkins fired at home. What's up, All Praise Picks? Appreciate you for tapping in. If Bill don't play Booker 40 ball, Booker gonna have to put them boys on his back today. Brian says he'll take over 224.5, not taking a side. Justin did get in on the over. Yeah, I think it's a fast-paced game, man. I do. Bucks shouldn't be in contention without Lillard. I'm kind of with you, Free Sauce. I agree, man. I don't want to lay 7.5 points without him. Absolutely not. As much as I can't stand the Phoenix Suns. Real quick, I see my guy DJ in here. What up, DJ? Hope all is well with you, bro. He says vintage Booker kind of game, and I can see that, right? I don't think they have a guy that can slow down Booker. Let's see. So Booker points prop should be about 30.5. They only got him listed at 26.5 with no KD. Oh man, that seems low to me. Booker is 26.5 today without Kevin Durant. Man, I got some research to do now. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm not gonna do this on the show because it's gonna hold the show up. But I see Devin Booker listed at 26.5. That number is a tad bit disrespectful, in my opinion. 26.5 minus 110. Is no way possible Devin Booker stays under 27 points without Kevin Durant. I'm looking at a team in the Milwaukee Bucks that's 21st against the pick and roll ball handler. Maybe they force him to be the facilitator. In that case, you got to look at his assists to go up and over. I see 6.5 at minus 145. That's a little too juice for me, but it makes a ton of sense. 27.5 is crazy. 26.5 is crazy low though. That's insanely low to me. Okay. All right, cool. Gary Trent Jr. threes. I love it says could see it. G Hurt says Phoenix huge pass. Let's see. Over is the play. Jose says. John says I think because Book been not scoring as of late. They sleep. They could be really sleep, John. They could be sleep, man. I see 27.5 on a couple books. Like the sharper books have 27.5 or 26.5 juice to the over. And this is another reason why you definitely shop around. Pinnacle got 26.5 at minus 137, which indicates one of the sharpest, probably the sharpest sports betting book in the world. Minus 137, but I can get minus 110. Guess where I can get it at? On Hard Rock. Hard Rock, the book that limits me, of course, because they got these super soft lines like this. But even DraftKings got a minus 115, and Bet365 does as well for Booker to go over 26.5. Like I said, it's 27.5 on some books as well. I like that though. Mark says all the snipers on over. I'll tell. I didn't even bet it, Mark, but I do think it's a little bit more of an over game. DJ says I like Giannis still at 29.5 after 2 points loss a few games ago to them as well. I think that he'll come out highly motivated. Yeah, they did just win. They won that game 108-106, and Phoenix is 2.5 point dogs the other day. And just some more notes. I put this in my notes as well. Phoenix is 2-11 in the 13 games without without Kevin Durant this season. They've only won 2 of the 13 games. They're also 2-10 against the spread. I think it was 2-10 against the spread in those games without Kevin Durant this season as well. So they have not been profitable, just FYI. Okay. All right, we did a good job there, even though it's not a game that I'll be betting. Next one up is the Magic and the Spurs. I did bet this one, probably my least favorite bet. I took the total. I tried to get on it early. It looked like it came back to bite me in the butt. I do see that it's dropping now back down to 218. I played this at 219.5. It's as low as 217. I'm just like, and I can't really it's a tough, I don't have a lot of data that supports this. I just think that this is more of an eye test type game for me. It's more so, I know the Magic on the second leg of a back-to-back, but I don't trust the Spurs defensively. And I do think that the Magic's offense will be able to score. Granted, they weren't able to score against the Clippers last night. The Clippers are a really good defensive team that also plays pretty slow unless they're playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers on a Sunday, and then they can't, not play slow. But I do think the Spurs are going to want to get up and down the floor. I don't trust the Spurs defensively in this game. So I thought it was a little bit more of an over game. It's only a half unit play, but I did play this game up and over. Real quick to put a little bit more numbers behind it. Orlando is they entered last night's game a top 10 offensive rated team. And they have dropped back down to 18th now. Of course, they are still really a really solid defensive team. They're 4th in defensive rating over their last 5 games. But I think that they'll be able to attack the rim. I think that they'll be able to get to their mid-range shots with Franz and Paolo. And I do think the game is going to be played a lot faster. So it's a pretty low total. These are the games that, they've been going over, more recently. The San Antonio Spurs are 13th in pace in their last 5 games. And since the All-Star break, they've been more of an over team as well. So not, like I said, not my favorite bet in the world, but I did play this one up and over the total. You can actually get a better number than I got if you like the Orlando and San Antonio game to go over. I do see it as 217 on DraftKings right now. So I think I got 219.5 last night. But yeah, that's what I played in this one. I think San Antonio is going to be able to knock down enough threes to keep this one competitive. And Orlando is also going to be able to score the basketball against the San Antonio defense that's not good. They're 24th defensive rated team in the last 5 games. So yeah, that's what I played in this one. Like I said, not a lot to share there. As far as I didn't go over the injury report, but I do think that Cole Anthony is been upgraded to questionable. He did miss the game last night, and the Spurs should have everybody. Maybe Bassey doesn't play, but they should have everybody else. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Chief said, killed it last night. Thanks, big dog. Glad you made some money, man. Boogie says back-to-back scoring games from Booker ain't no way. Okay. Ron says it seems too easy to take Booker up and over his points. Could be free. It's gonna be easy or free, one or the other. Free Sauce says I like Spurs team total under 106.5. Boy, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the way I understand. Trust me, I get it. I just think it's gonna be played with pace, though. Justin says I'm right there with you. He got a 220.5. We'll see what the death settles tonight, Justin. Glad to see you on it, though. Chico says I don't trust the Magic at 3.5. If it was 6 or 7, then I bet the Magic, but I'm off. I think, yeah, that number has not moved at all. I saw it open at 4. It's really at 4, and I do see a 3.5 out there, but I'm not interested in the side like that. I don't want the Magic laying points on the road in the second leg of a back-to-back, but I also don't want anything to do with San Antonio either. I know that Orlando, in my opinion, Orlando's going to dominate the boards in this game as well. San Antonio has not been a great rebounding team. They've given up a ton of offensive rebounds as well. So yeah. Going back to Franz over his rebounds and assists, could not talk you off, Free Sauce. I like it. Jose says the same thing. Going back to Franz up and over his rebounds and assists as well. Could not talk you guys off. Free Sauce says over last 4 or 5 had 17 last game against the Spurs on February the 8th. Yeah, and that last game went up and over the total as well. These two teams did play earlier this season. I didn't mention it, but it did go up and over. The Spurs are 13-9 to the over since the All-Star break. About 60% of their games are going up and over, including 3 straight. So I do think, like I said, Orlando's offense will play good against a terrible defense, not as better than they played last night against a good defense. What up, Dax? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Good morning to you. All right, let's keep it pushing. Next game up we have is the Portland Trail Blazers and the Atlanta Hawks. I thought this line was a little inflated last night. It opened 3.5, which I like. I could see Atlanta at 3.5, but then it went all the way up to 6.5. And if you've been watching this show, I'm not too keen with laying too many points with the Atlanta Hawks. I know that they've been, have a new profound perspective of basketball, and they've been hooping and covering the number and all that good stuff. I still don't want to lay too many points with the Atlanta Hawks. I wake up this morning and I see it back down to 5. I'm like, yeah, that's about appropriate. I didn't bet it. Injury report, Jeremy Grant is listed as doubtful. Scoot Henderson has already been ruled out. Anthony Simons is on the report as well. He's listed as questionable. I did make a bet in this game. We'll talk about it in a second. So Capella is out. Trae Young is also game time decision. So if you like Atlanta, you do like that Portland has looked really terrible. Remember, we talked about this on Sunday. I said that if the Portland Trailblazers weren't knocking down their 3-point shots, they could get blown out, ran out the gym against the Knicks. And that's what ended up happening. Even though they won the first quarter, they had some stretches in the game where they looked good, and then they absolutely just couldn't score the basketball anymore. And the Knicks kind of shut them down, ended up covering the number. Portland they have some concerning losses in their last couple games. They've lost 4 straight. They haven't covered any of the 4 spreads that they've lost, and all have been by double digits. Atlanta has actually covered 5 of their last 6 games. So you could say that these two teams are going in opposite directions. It's also the first leg of a back-to-back for Atlanta. They play in Dallas tomorrow. But on the first leg of back-to-back games, the Atlanta Hawks are actually 9-5 against the number, 4-1 against the number in their last 5 games, playing on the first leg of a back-to-back. So what I ended up betting was I bet Zachary Reese. First time all season, I bet Reese. So we're going to go take a little field trip back over to Outlier. So this is Zachary. This is that didn't work. Okay. This is Reese game log over the last 10 games. Dude has been absolutely hooping. Points prop listed at 14.5. You can still get the same number that I got. Is actually, I see you can get better odds than I got too. I got minus 115 thinking that this might move to 15.5. But yeah, you still can get minus 111, it looks like right now on FanDuel. You can see in his last 10 games, he's up and over the number in 7 of his last 10, but it's more than just the hit rate. It's where Zachary likes to score the basketball. And it's in transition. He gets about a third of his point, a little less than a third of his points. 30% of his points come in transition. This Portland transition defense is terrible. Bottom 6 in the league on the full season. And I think that he's going to be able to get out and run in this game. We know Atlanta only wants to run. He also has been getting a ton of increased opportunity in general since the All-Star break. When the Atlanta Hawks made those trades, his minutes went up a lot. So if you come down here on Outlier, you can see that in his last 10 games, he's averaging 27.5 minutes. It's kind of hovering right here where I got the mouse. Shooting 53% from the field, which is great, right? 37% from the 3-point line. And look at those field goal attempts. If you zoom in, I don't know if you guys are watching this on a TV or phone, but you can see he's taking about 13 shot attempts per game, 12.8 shot attempts per game in this spot. So what I did was I just kind of cross-referenced all that, right? The minutes, the shot opportunities, the way he liked to score the basketball. He's averaged, like I said, 27 minutes, taking nearly 13 shots per game in his last 10 with at least 27 minutes and 12 shot attempts per game. He scored at least 15 points in 8 of his 13 games this season. He's averaging right at 19 points per game. If you add in that he's playing against a team that's in the bottom half of the league in transition defense, like the Portland Trail Blazers are, he's over in 5 of the 8 games. But more importantly, all 4 games since the All-Star break. So I like to do this as well, right? This is his last 20 games. You can see he's up and over in 10 of his last 20. But if you look at the full season, you can see all this red, right? Like he wasn't getting as much opportunity in these games. But now that he gets the opportunity, you can see a lot more green here. So I did play on Zachary Reese today. Actually, the only player prop that I played so far is Mr. Reese. I think he has a pretty good game in this one. So yeah, that's the bet in this one. I think I know Atlanta games has typically flew up and over the total. This one to me feels about right though. And what I worry about here is the Portland Trail Blazers being able to keep up. I know Atlanta typically plays a fast-paced game where you got to stop them. And they don't really care about stopping you. But the Portland Trail Blazers offense is kind of the reason why they haven't been covering is because they haven't been scoring. They scored 93 points against the Knicks, 107 against the Sacramento Kings of all teams, 111 against Cleveland, 116 against Boston. But there's some games in here where their offenses kind of look pretty poor. So yeah, they're not playing a lot of defense. The offense has been kind of struggling to score the basketball consistently. So I think 238.5 is about right where it should be. It makes sense that the market didn't push this one too far up and over. So yeah, I'm on Zachary Reese, but don't really have a look on the side. And I think the total is about where it should be. Let's see what you guys are thinking with this one. Hawks are favorites. Take the over. LJ says, yeah. I guess it could be that simple. I don't know. I don't know. The last time that they played, total was 231 and a half, 231, and they did stay under. Portland actually beat Atlanta 114 to 110. So, 3 of the last 4 games between the two teams have actually gone under 2, going back to last season. So, take it with a grain of salt. But I think 238 and a half is don't really give me a lot of room for error, in my opinion. That's just my thought process. Good morning, Joseph. Appreciate you for tapping in. Portland might win outright, Coop says. Okay. Do like some Denny Avdia, Sandy. I could not talk you off in this one. He says he got Hawks money line paired with Denny Avdia over his 1.5 threes. Onyeka Okongwu plus 1.5 assists. Oh, that's a whole lot. I can't read all that, but okay. I hope you cash it. Let's see. I did so excellent spot for Denny Avdia. I put this in my notes as well. Excellent matchup against a fast-paced team that doesn't play much defense. Simon's also listed as questionable. Denny is coming off back-to-back games where he had 24 and 33 points. His point prop was listed at 33 and at 22 and a half last night. I didn't bet it, but that was on my short list as well. Justin says he'll play the Trailblazers team total up and over. Thinks they get to 117. Okay. Portland team total under 116 and a half for LAB. I'm sorry, LBA. Says I believe they'll struggle to score. Okay. I love it. Says he's on Risa Shea with me. Let's cash it. Freesaw says he's going Onyeka Okongwu under his 17.5 points and assists. Tamari Kamara over his 2.5 assists for Freesaw. I like Kamara a lot. Chico says I'm thinking about the under and the Blazers +5. Atlanta on the do not bet list. Blazers money line if Simons is in. Atlanta's on the do not bet list. Why? Atlanta's covered 5 of their last 6 games. You been watching basketball, Ron? Why would you put Atlanta on the do not bet list? I can't understand everything. I gotta skip over a couple comments. All right. Jason says he likes the Blazers to cover as well. D. Harris says Hawks later points. All right, let's keep it pushing. Next one up, Raptors and Bulls. This is one that I kind of wanted to go through. It's kind of one I wanted to go through on the show. I didn't bet the game. Didn't really look too much into it as either. So we'll live cap this one. Matter of fact, we'll head over to use all the resources today. We'll head over to the Money Baller. The Money Baller is a website that you can use to kind of handicaps all of the NBA, MLB, NFL, WNBA when it comes. All that stuff will be on here. So this is, and there's a link in the description where you can get 50% off your first month if you want to try it out. So this is the Trailblazers and the Hawks. This is full season numbers. You can see that the Hawks do have in-season revenge. They're coming off a win as a dog, potential letdown spot after beating the Bucks. And it's the first game of a back-to-back, which we talked about already. So you got an over system based on high totals for the Blazers, and you got an over system based on high totals for the the Atlanta Hawks as well. Again, Atlanta plays tomorrow in Dallas, and Portland plays Toronto on the road to continue that road streak. This is their 3rd straight road game as well. All right, so honestly, I don't really want to look at full game numbers. Full game tells me Trailblazers are not a strong over team in the first half specifically. You can see that here. That's the first thing that kind of jumps out to me. 21-9-2 to the under in the first half if they're a road dog. They struggle to score in the first half, specifically 21-11. But I don't really want to look at this. You can see that the Hawks are just 3-13 against the spread, laying points between 2.5 and 7 as well. I kind of want to look at the last 10 games. Because I feel like the Trailblazers have kind of reverted. They don't have anything to play for either. I don't think they can really make they're out. Like they're 4 games behind the Kings. They're not gonna catch the Kings or the Mavs. So they're just kind of, like doing whatever, honestly. The Atlanta Hawks on the opposite side, they actually got a lot to play for because they could still, what they got? Yeah, they could still potentially catch the Bucks if the Bucks start losing a bunch of games and they just beat the Bucks. So 4 games behind the Bucks could potentially get in the 6th spot rather than having to play the play-in tournament against the Orlando Magic. Also, you want to host the play-in tournament, even if you do stay in 7. You want to host the play-in game. So they only a 1 game above Orlando in the standings as well. So Atlanta needs this game more than the Toronto Raptors do, in my opinion. But last 10 games, let's look at it. So offensive rating clearly goes to the Hawks. They're the second best offensive rated team. The Trailblazers are 15th. Defensively, that goes to the Hawks as well. They're 15th, and the Trailblazers are 17th. Pace, Trailblazers playing super slow, 28th in pace. The Hawks are 5th. Assist to turnover ratio, Trailblazers are terrible, 29th. They're going to be without Scoot today. We know that the Hawks go get their assists, 9th in assists to turnover ratio. Trailblazers numbers over here, you can see that they've struggled to score the basketball, 26th and 24th in effective field goal percentage, either both allowed and what they've been shooting themselves. It's not a lot, in my opinion, to like for the Trailblazers here. Maybe you like this, that they're shooting a bunch of threes. But look at the Hawks. Actually second best 3-point allowed in 3-point attempts. Not giving up a ton of threes. Second chance points. Trailblazers score about 18, which is 3rd in the NBA. But look at the Hawks, 7th in second chance points allowed. Trailblazers not getting out running in transition, only 16 fast break points per game. Look at this. The Blazers are giving up the 3rd most fast break points. We know Atlanta wants to run. 4th in fast break points scored. This actually makes me think Atlanta can win and cover. Last 10 games, the Hawks are 8-2. The Trailblazers are just 4-6 straight up. As a road dog, 0-3, 1-2 against the number. Hawks 7-3 against the spread in the first half specifically. Trailblazers are 8-2 to the first half team total under. Don't really like taking unders in Hawks games, but yeah, just looking at this stuff, like I kind of feel like the Hawks should be able to score the basketball here. Yeah. All right. I'm spending way too much time on it. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Oh. All right, let's go back over to the main show. Where were we at? Justice says, Taylor and Chris, I must have missed when sent to the members. I got to do better. So all of the posts, I put them in the same post last night, Justin. So it should have been in there last night. But yeah, I'm not even looking at the right game, bro. I'm talking about the Hawks. I'm supposed to be looking at the Raptors and the Bulls. I'm just realizing we're on Raptors and Bulls. Going back to that game, Raptors and Bulls. We'll go back to it in just a second. What up, Daph? Hope all is well with you. Y'all go check my guy Daph out if y'all not already. Daph has been killing it. We did a show with Kyle last week. I think he dropped a couple bangers in there. Fanatics promo, I probably do, Justin. I'll put it in the Discord. I don't really like Fanatics, but they do be having some soft lines sometimes, though. All right, back to this Raptors and Bulls game. So we got the Raptors on with the rest advantage here, of course. The Bulls on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying in from OKC, where they got pummeled last night. Toronto, I know that they're gonna rest RJ and Obagi gonna be out, Ochai Agbaji gonna be out, but Raptors still been covering spreads, man. They're 6-4 ATS in their last 6-4 straight up, 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games. They've covered 4 in a row, 5 of their last 6, and 8 of their last 10 games. This team is killing right now. Also been a little bit more of an under team, 6-3-1 to the under in their last 10. Looks like 4 of their last 5 have gone under the total. They played the Portland Trailblazers in their next game, and I talked about this in the spot last game for the Raptors. It just hasn't caught up with them because they were playing against the Philadelphia 76ers. But they've had to travel, I think, for 11 straight games now. They just came from Philly to Chicago. Before that, they were at home for 1 game against Charlotte. Before that, they were in Brooklyn. Before that, they were in Washington. Before that, they were at home against San Antonio. Before that, a 4-game road trip. So it's been a lot of travel for Toronto. Eventually, it's going to catch up with them. The Chicago Bulls are coming off back-to-back losses. against Dallas and against OKC. So the first thing you got to ask yourself here, because there are some similarities between Dallas and OKC, and we talked about this on Saturday. We also talked about it yesterday. If you're going to beat the Bulls, you're going to have to be able to slow them down in transition, and you're going to have to be a pretty solid three-point defensive team, because that's what the Chicago Bulls like to do. They want to shoot a bunch of threes, and they want to get out and run in transition. So we look at the numbers real quick. The Chicago Bulls are first in pace. Toronto actually playing super fast, third in pace last 5 games as well. Chicago has played the 7th strongest strength of schedule. The Toronto Raptors have played the easiest strength of schedule. Makes sense, right? Toronto just beat the bottom feeders, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Charlotte Hornets, the Brooklyn Nets, the Washington Wizards, the San Antonio Spurs. So last 5 games have been against very, very easy competition. All of these teams are tanking. So it makes sense that Chicago has played a very strong strength of schedule. Their numbers should be a little bit inflated because of that. The Toronto Raptors are, and they are. They're the number 1 defensive rated team in the last 5 games. As a result of playing that super easy strength of schedule, number 1 in opponent effective field goal percentage. They're also turning teams over at the 3rd highest rate, which could be problematic for Chicago because they are bottom 6 in protecting the basketball in their last 5 games. So Toronto's defense has been really good against the 3-point shot in their last 5 games. Number 1 in opponent 3-point accuracy, holding teams to about 28%. The Chicago Bulls are taking the 7th most threes, making the threes at the 3rd highest clip. Chicago is pushing pace, 2nd in transition frequency, 1st in transition efficiency in their last 5 games. The Toronto Raptors are bottom 10 in opponent transition frequency, but they are 7th in opponent transition efficiency in their last 5 games. So what that tells me is that, let's see, I need to see how the Bulls play without rest, though. Let's see. The Bulls on the second leg of a back-to-back. Then I need to see. The Bulls are 3-7 straight up, 3-7 against the spread, playing unrested, 7-3-1 to the over. Games are averaging 237 points, which this total is 235.5. They played in 3 straight overs. It looks like 6 of their last 8 games have gone up and over the total as well. What if they've had to travel? So they're 1-4 straight up and against the spread on the second leg of a back-to-back if they have to travel from one place to another place as well. 3-1-1 to the over. These games are averaging 237 points. Don't like that for the Bulls at all in this spot. The Raptors. I need to check one more thing. So this is last game of the season between the two teams. Chicago has won all 3. Beat them 122-121 on December the 14th. Beat them 122-106 in Toronto on January the 31st, covered as a 4.5-point dog. And they beat them 125-115. The Bulls have won all 3 games against the Toronto Raptors. All right, one more thing we need to check. Bulls been hooping against the Raptors. The Bulls need to game more too. From a standings perspective, if they want to host the last play-in game against the Miami Heat, they are a game behind. So you got to think about motivational perspective as well. Chicago does need to win this game. All right, I wanted to look at the minutes that the Bulls played, because I know they got smoked last night. Okay, yeah, they didn't play heavy minutes. So this all kind of favors the Bulls here. Outside of the Raptors being really good against the easiest schedule. Kobe White played 23 minutes. Josh Giddey played 28 minutes. Missed that triple-double by 2 rebounds last night, even in 28 minutes. Buzelis played 31. Looks like he played the most. Yeah, I think the Bulls got enough here. I do think the Bulls got enough. I think I'd be laying a 5 with the Bulls. This number has come down. Even with the matchup stuff for Toronto, I think that's a little overblown based on their strength of schedule. The Bulls are still they're 12th offensively, 16th defensively, first in pace as well. I think they got enough in this spot. Don't like a couple of those trends though, especially the rest one. If they're playing unrested and they're favorite, they are 0-1. They've only been an unrested favorite one time. They lost to the Hawks by 16. They were laying 6. This was back on January. All right. Yeah, Raptors been covering against the last time the Raptors didn't cover, they got smoked by the Spurs, another fast-paced team. They lost to the Suns. They won the second leg of a back-to-back in that game. That's gross, man. I think I'm gonna stay off, but I kind of lean towards the Bulls though. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. LJ says Toronto on the road versus the East has been good money, first half and full game. Okay. Justin says I'm not fading the team that lost by 28 last night, but also not laying with the Bulls backwood. Yeah, I think I'll be there too. Just trying to give y'all something, man. Ron says he'll go Bulls win margin 1-10. That's a nice way of playing it. If you don't want to lay the points, they do need the game. They definitely need the game. Brian says Giddey assists, rebounds. The Raptors are one of the best teams in the NBA as far as assists allowed, right? They don't give up a ton of assists. So not that he can't get there. I know Josh Giddey been hooping, but I don't know, man. 8.5 on the second leg of a back-to-back. Looks like it's minus 100. It's see what the sharper books got it at. Look like it's 8.5. Juice to the under on Pinnacle, minus 127. The Raptors are top 10 defense as far as assists allowed. Josh Giddey gets his assists 30% come, excuse me, at the above the break 3, and the Raptors are 10th in a top 10 3-point defense. So both of these teams playing super fast though. Maybe just take the over. Maybe that's the play. Raptors probably gonna be able to score. The Bulls don't play defense. Maybe it's just over. I did mention both of these. The Raptors are 3rd in pace last 5 games. The Bulls are 1st in pace last 5 games. Bulls games are averaging 246 points, 49 points, but the Raptors games are only averaging 213 points. But they have been playing against some cupcake offenses, super cupcake offenses. Raptors +5 for Coop. Buzelis over his 4.5 boys for free sauce. I would need to know who's going to play. I think everybody's going to play, though. I love us. We'll see. Bulls -8. Cash it now. Don't say I didn't tell you, LBA says. Mark says, I might play a small Atlanta-Chicago money line parlay. I couldn't talk you off of that, Mark. I like that. They cover what, Aiden? I know that they covered 10 in a row, but then they just got smoked back-to-back games, and the Raptors have been playing some pretty good defense. Let's see. Some more love for Buzelis over his boards. Killian, what's going on, bro? It's been a minute since I caught a live. Did I come back to Chris considering counseling that Bulls free diet? I actually cashed with the Bulls a couple weeks ago. I don't play them often, but they cashed for me against Phoenix a couple weeks ago. Jose says he likes the over. I think it maybe is a little bit more of an over game. Let's see what the total. Let's see where it opened at. So 230 looks like 239.5. That's a little high, 239.5. But it's down to 235 now, and it's continuing to come down on the under. At 239, I probably would have considered under. I don't think I paid attention too much to the total. I wrote in my notes 237.5, but it's coming down now to 235.5. I think I'll be looking a little bit more towards the over. I think Toronto will be able to score. Just my thoughts. I think they'll be able to score. All right, last game on the board we have is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets. This line, it looks like it's settled at 3, at least for the moment. The total, I started to jump on the under last night. It was 232.5 on FanDuel. They were the only book that had a 2.5, had a 232.5. Everybody else had 230, and I was like, do I want to take under? And the only reason, like I said, I didn't play it is because I'm waiting to see if there's some suspensions that's going to come from the little fiasco that happened between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Detroit Pistons the other day. But without that, if those guys are in, we got a triple revenge spot here for Denver. That's the first thing that stand out to me. I was looking at some stuff that said Mike Malone was saying that that he has like 5 or 6 scouts that have watched the Timberwolves games, and they play harder against the Denver Nuggets than they play against any other team in the NBA. And that's what it looks like. I don't know what the Timberwolves did, what the Denver Nuggets did to the Timberwolves. I know they beat them in the playoffs a couple years ago, but Minnesota won last year. But every time they see this team, they want to smoke them. They've won 7 of the last 10 games. That includes the playoffs. That includes last year, regular season as well. And they've won all 3 games this season as well. The first time they were actually a favorite, they won the game by 3 on a 3.5 number. That was back in November. Then they played again, 3.5 point dogs with the Minnesota Timberwolves. They smoked the Denver Nuggets, beat them 133-104. And then the most recent matchup was March the 12th in Denver. They beat them 115-95. So none of these games, honestly, have even been that close. And the books open this with Denver being favorite because they are home. A short favorite, of course, but favored at home. The totals are actually 2-1 to the over, but the first one opened 219. The last 2 were 230, and then a 233.5. So now the total coming back down from the last meeting that they played. The Timberwolves, one thing I like for the Timberwolves in this spot is they're super rested. They've only played outside of that Detroit game. I mean, they smoked Phoenix. That was pretty easy. They've been at home. They have not played a lot of basketball recently. Only 3 games in the last week and a half, it feels like. I know that they lost at Indiana, but they have been super healthy. They don't have a look ahead spot. They fly They fly east to come to Brooklyn in the next game, and they've been hooping 7-3 straight up in their last 10 games. Back-to-back coverage against Phoenix and Detroit. Did lose outright to the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are a team that puts a lot of pressure on the 3-point line, forces you off, and we know that the Denver Nuggets do not do that. The Denver Nuggets struggle to play defense. But if there's ever a game that Denver should get up for, it should be this one. Do they have enough, though? Do they have enough? And I skipped over the injury report. Jamal Murray, I think, is listed as questionable in this game, and he does mean a lot. Christian Braun, Jokic, and Aaron Gordon, I think, are all listed as probable. And Gordon is actually listed as questionable. Jamal Murray is listed as he did go through practice yesterday. He's officially listed as questionable. I'm guessing that those guys are going to play. I don't think this line would be this big without those guys. I did mention this on yesterday's show, I think, that Anthony Edwards said that they kind of had a meeting. Like, I don't know if it was players only or not, but they talked about going 9-0 to end the regular season, really trying to, propel themselves out of the play-in tournament and get to 6. Right now, they're half a game behind Golden State. That's also very noteworthy, right? Half a game behind Golden State for 6th spot, and you want to get to 6 because 6 is trying to really climbing out of that play-in tournament bucket. You don't want to be in that, right? You want to actually have a full 7-game series. So if they still have a chance to catch Golden State and take that 6th spot, definitely gonna need a win here. The Denver Nuggets are in 3rd, and they're a game in front of the Lakers. And you definitely want to, you want 3rd or 4th specifically, depending on matchup. So both of these teams have a lot to play for, is really what I'm saying. As far as last 5 games, let me just check. Because like I said, this was one I don't know. I don't know if those guys are going to get suspended or not. That's just my thought process. Minnesota, Denver, let's match them up. So go through my notes. So Minnesota is... Minnesota is 6th in offensive rating, 7th in defensive rating, 4th in efficiency differential in the last 5 games, but against the 27th easiest strength of schedule. Denver is 7th in offensive rating, 17th in defensive rating, 18th in pace. Timberwolves are 20th in pace, and that's against the 17th strongest strength of schedule. The Timberwolves want to shoot a bunch of spot-up shots, 6th in frequency, 5th in efficiency on the full season. The Denver Nuggets, that's their weak spot. 23rd in opponent spot-up frequency, 28th in opponent spot-up accuracy. So they are allowing teams to shoot really, really efficiently from the 3-point line. You do not like that if you like the Denver Nuggets. We know Minnesota, all they want to do is shoot a ton of threes. So that's the first thing that jumps out to me. Minnesota is also seventh in offensive rebound percentage. Denver is 20th in opponent offensive rebound percentage. So that could be a way for Minnesota to score the basketball as well from the offensive rebound perspective. I don't think Minnesota doesn't push pace. They're not a transition team. 26th in transition frequency last 5 games. On the full season, they're dead last. So Timberwolves are Denver Nuggets aren't forcing any turnovers. Their 3-point defense has been a little bit better. They are 12th in opponent 3-point frequency and 6th in opponent 3-point accuracy in their last 5 games. If they're going to be able to slow Minnesota's offense down from the 3-point line, I do think it's a little bit more of an under game. When we look at Denver and how they match up with Minnesota, Denver is taking a lot of shots in the rim. And Minnesota is number 7th in opponent rim frequency, number 2 in opponent rim accuracy. So those shots may not be there for Denver. Pace-wise, I just talked about it. Both teams 20th and 18th in pace. Denver is 18th in transition frequency. Minnesota is a really good transition defense. They're giving up the second fewest points per 100 possessions in transition. So let me just change this to Denver. So all things considered, if we get everybody in, kind of feel like under is the play. Especially with the way that the Denver Nuggets have been defending the 3-point line. Real quick, if I just go look at the Nuggets, I just want to see how the Nuggets do when they're a short home favorite. So when they're this line is what? It's 3, right? So yeah, it's 3. The total's actually going up now, back up to 232.5. So I could be wrong on that. Who knows? All right. So the Nuggets are a short favorite at home. I'll share this too, just FYI, so you guys can see it. Got a little bit of time today. So this is Give Me the Dog. This is the Nuggets as a short home favorite. So if they're projected to either lose the game, win the game by 1 possession. So 3 points or less, they are 1-5 against the spread, only 2-4 straight up. Losing by an average of 10 points, getting outscored by an average of 10 points per game. You can see here, they failed to cover 4 straight. Failed to cover against the Mavs. This was back in November. Failed to cover against the Knicks back in November. Failed to cover against the Timberwolves. And failed to cover against the Bulls. Lost that game outright to the Bulls as well. You don't really like that. You don't like that at all. We always talk about the Timberwolves wanting to get them as a dog versus a favorite. We see this. As a favorite, the Timberwolves are not profitable, 43.1%. As a dog, the Timberwolves are 56%. I want 56%. 9-7 against the number. You can see that they've covered 3 of their last 4 against the Thunder, and the Nuggets. So the Timberwolves, I think, will get up for this game, like they have, right? Against the Nuggets, you can see that this is a cover here as well. Road dogs, they are 6-5 against the number. They've won 4 of the 11 meetings as well. Totals are just 5-5-1. Yeah, I kind of want to take the Timberwolves. So if the Timberwolves previously beat you this season, and then they're a road dog, one and 3 straight up, 1 and 3 against the spread. So this says Denver. So the Timberwolves beat the Warriors, but then went to Golden State and lost. They beat the Rockets, but then went to Houston and lost. Beat the Lakers and then went to LA and lost. But they beat the Nuggets at home. Beat the Nuggets and then went back to Denver and beat them as well. What about the Nuggets in revenge spots this season? Nuggets are 9-11 against the number. 13-7 to the over are the Nuggets in revenge games. Ooh, wait, I'm off that under. That's 5 straight overs in revenge games for the Nuggets. And what if they're at home? 7-2 to the over, but they do not cover. 6-3 against the spread. This tells me Minnesota team total over. So this DPA number right here, not to get that confused. DPA number right here is how many points they allow when they're if their opponent goes up and over their team total or not. You can see every team has gone up and over their team total except the Clippers right here. I think we was on this under too. This was a Saturday game, right? No, it's a Friday game. Never mind. So yeah, this and you can see that the Timberwolves stayed under by 0.5 point. Damn. 7-2 to the over if the Nuggets are at home facing a team that they lost to earlier this season. All right, one more thing. We'll get into a quick recap. This is the Nuggets with double revenge. 5-1 straight up. 4-2 against the spread. 4-2 to the under. A lot of conflicting things here. Just lost to the Lakers, they had double revenge. Lost to the Timberwolves, they had double revenge. Is it that easy to take the Timberwolves plus the 3? All right. Hopefully you guys don't feel like I'm wasting your time. I'm just like live capping the way that I would, honestly, if like I was just talking to myself, honestly. So hopefully that's helpful too, and you were able to learn something from like the SDQL and the way that I kind of handicap the games. But I'm probably not gonna bet this one. There's a lot of things on both sides. Probably not gonna bet this one. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one, and then we'll do a quick recap. Savar says he likes the Bulls team total over 120.5 maybe. Gobert over his rebounds and assists. Lock that in now, ladies and gents. Free Sauce says. Coop likes Denver minus the 3.5. You can get a 2.5. This line is coming down now. DraftKings got a 2.5 now. It's definitely one where you wait on the injury report first and foremost. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would bet in this one. There's a lot of conflicting stuff, as you can see on both sides. Brian says he likes Minnesota plus 3.5. Who's playing for Denver is key. I like the under as well. Wolves own the Nuggets. 30 Jared says we just saw that. Mark says he likes over. And I mean, y'all all on different sides too. I need to know who's playing though. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I got to do my research, Free Sauce. Appreciate you sharing that. LJ says Denver lose tonight. Take them tomorrow versus the Spurs. Best team in the NBA off a loss. They do play the Spurs tomorrow. Spurs will be coming to town tomorrow. They also the best team off a home loss. Okay, with no rest. Yeah, the best team with no rest in general. John says a wise man once said, wake that ass up. Nuggets over. Justin played it at 231.5. Okay. Doubling down on Gobert over his rebounds and assists. Free Sauce says Wolves plus 4. A lot of conflicting stuff back and forth here too. Blaze says, hey Chris, if there was an injury and you asked Jackson later about the games, will that injury update with it, or will it change his answer? It'll probably change his answer because the more information that it has, the more it's going to be able to assess the play that it likes. So yeah, like if Rudy Gobert gets ruled out, it's definitely going to be a different handicap. And you can prompt that. You can prompt that in Jackson too. You could say, based on recent injury updates, what is the best ATS team to take between the Timberwolves or Nuggets? Or you can say, would you lay the points with Denver in this spot? Whatever the case might be. So yeah, you could definitely, Jackson has all of those capabilities for sure. Let's see. LBA says the line changed off your research. Nah, they changed on my research. That's the sharps in the market, letting them have their way. Letting them have their way for sure. Let's see. Justin says it's 7-2 or 10-3 to the over. I thought I seen 10-3 to the over when home with the season revenge, but I might be that 7-2-1 was pretty telling in my opinion. Coop says he thinks that Jokic has a monster game. Yeah, I could see that. If Jokic is playing -3 for Spoosh. Bulls money line. Sweep season series. Marquis says, okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be on the sideline in that one. All right, so recap. Been on here for a long time, but I did make 4 official plays. Give me the Warriors. I played this last night, -3.5. Orlando, San Antonio. I got a bad number at 219.5. We'll see what happens. Like I said, that's probably the play that I like the least, but I am on Orlando and San Antonio. That 217.5, what we were talking about, is now gone though. It's up to 218. So we'll see what happens in that one, but you can still get a pretty good number if you like that one. I'm on Zachary Richter over his 14.5 points. Number still widely available. And I did play the Knicks team total up and over 118.5. I think that number was available on one sports book, which was Bet365 when we started the show early this morning. Honorable mentions would be kind of like Atlanta -5, man. I don't really like laying points with Atlanta, but if you watch the live cap, it kind of makes sense. I think I'm gonna stay off of that though. Phoenix and Milwaukee, like I said, I think it's a little bit more of an over game than an under game, but I'm off of that one as well. Toronto and Chicago, kind of like the matchup for Chicago. I think Toronto's a little inflated, being that they played the easiest strength of schedule in their last 5 games. I also think that game goes up and over maybe. Chicago as a favorite, I feel like it's just an over spot in general. Let's real quick. Let's look at that. Let's look at the Bulls as a favorite. I think the Bulls play defense as a favorite now that I think about it. Let's see real quick. The Bulls are, oh Lord. Yeah, the Bulls are under team as a favorite. I thought so. The Bulls are actually 14-3 to the under as a favorite. This is when their offense all of a sudden can't score no more. So maybe the market is right with that total coming down, even though now I see it being pushed back up to 236 now. So I don't know what to do with that game, man. I'm probably not going to bet it. 14-3 to the under is something very strong, though. These games are about 226, it looks like, and they've gone under in 5 straight games as a favorite. The Chicago Bulls have. So I don't like that at all, especially with the Raptors being the #1 defensive rated team. And like I said, they've been good against the 3-point shot. You need them to play some transition defense, though. So it's a tough card today, man. I'm probably going to ride with the 4 bets that I got. If I do end up placing anything else, or you're interested in any of the plays that I make, you can definitely use that link in the YouTube description and join as a member so you can get all the plays that I make sent to you. I do see that Denver Nuggets coming down to a 2 now. That could be indicative of Aaron Gordon or Jamal Murray potentially not playing in this game. Minnesota have been on a warpath recently, so probably not gonna bet that one, but I will be watching it. Tomorrow we have 9 more games, so it's a big slate tomorrow, and perfect timing for me to mention this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be doing a show in the morning or not. I am about to go on a little getaway just for a couple of days. I'll be back on Friday. I won't be on Cal's show tomorrow. I won't be on Cal's show on Thursday, but I'll be back on Friday. Be back on Friday. I will still try to do a show. I'm not sure if it'll be a night show, if it'll be the morning show like this, but I'm gonna take a couple of days, just to kind of go hang out with my son. We're gonna do a little traveling, and then I'll be back to regularly scheduled programming on Friday. So I'll still be active. I still, try to do shows. Still definitely sending out plays to the members. See if we can finish the season off strong before the playoffs get here, and start April off on the right foot as well. So I'll chop that up and make sure I put an announcement chapter. I forgot to mention that earlier, but we're gonna leave pretty early in the morning. So definitely won't be going through all the games, even if I do a show in the morning. But look out for something, even if it's just a video overnight. Research is here. Resources that I use. You've seen me use all of these today. jaXon, Outlier, Moneyballer, OddsJam. So if you're serious about sports bet, man, check these out. Also just a lot of knowledge. This is a very long show because I like to show you guys my process. I like to see what other people are betting as well. But yeah, check out the resources if you guys are interested. There is a link in the description where you can get all these for discount on whatever it is that you like. So best of luck on your Tuesday action, man. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the weather. It's nice on the East Coast. And I'll catch you guys either tonight or tomorrow. Look out for a video, one of the two. I will be on with Cal later today as well. Best of luck. Enjoy the Tuesday.